Alright guys, let's go ahead and do a video now for Leo or Leo cross-watcher out there. You can also reverse this if you need to. This might even be someone going through this with another individual on the outside of you, but somehow connected. Alright, I think I'm going to title your video The Finger. Well, it could be the middle finger, I don't know. But the reason is because I think, again, this could be reversed, but I feel like someone's just pointing at you, constantly pointing at you, you. We're going to get into it. I just set and wrote down almost two, like a front and a back to what I'm picking up on here. So, there's an individual who, it's like they look for something to prove you wrong on, or to prove their point on when it comes to you, okay? Whether they're directly doing this or indirectly doing this, they are hell-bent on fighting with you, fighting against you, proving you wrong. I don't know. It's like they, I wrote down that they're competitive, but I don't think competitive is the word. This is a person who tends to be rather chaotic. At least right now. I'm not saying they're always going to be like this, but they have chaotic energy. We all do. This isn't a judgment. Every single one of us has chaotic energy, and they have a lot of anger. There's nothing wrong with anger. It's just we have to know how to like channel it, and we don't always have control of that. It depends on what arises, what happens. Sometimes we can blow up, and but why are they so? I'll give an example. This could be someone who knows that you know your shit or you're intelligent in some sort of field, but they are insistent on trying to fight with you about it, or fight or prove you wrong, or argue about it, or I don't know, disprove you in some way, or what you say or what you believe in, even like a belief that you have. You may know this. There's somebody around you who's argumentative, whether they actively argue with you, or they argue with others about something about you, or they just argue with themselves or fight with themselves about you. It's like this person is, they would never want to listen ever, but they may see you as in the wrong. But they are, at this point in time at least, unteachable. They don't feel there's anything they have to learn. They feel that they know it all. Some of you could be dealing with a know-it-all, and this could be anyone. It doesn't have to be romantic or whatever. Now, I did write down another scenario. I don't think you're, well, before I get there, I don't think that you're unaware of this. I think that you're clearly aware of this. Even if this is like a complete stranger, I think you're aware. I think that you are, you're at a higher elevation than this person. I'm not saying you're better. I'm just saying you're at a different elevation from them, where you've already kind of gone through the, you can call it awakening. I mean, I guess you've already kind of gone through the, whatever it is, because I can't really tell what it is. It's going to be different for everybody, I guess. You've gone through it already. You're steps ahead of this person in a specific field or in a specific area. Some of you, this is family. Some of you, I don't know, this could be an ex or a current partner or a friend or somebody at work. I don't know who it is. But, like, you know what you're talking about here specifically, in whatever it is. And they hate that. Like, for some reason, it is almost like a competitive nature, but it's not really that they're competing with you. They're really competing with themselves. We are really, truly our only competition. Isn't that from like Rocky or a fighting movie? We really are our only competition. But I don't know. I mean, this is an awful, awful example, but it's just the first one popping in my head. Imagine it's a sibling or something, right? And this, I'm hearing sibling. When I said sibling right, I heard sibling rivalry. So it could be that. Okay, let's say this sibling is older than you or something like that, right? And you, yet in a specific area, know something before that they do. I mean, you went through it before. You've crushed that. I cannot speak. I keep stuttering over my words. You figured something out before they have in life, but they really don't like that. Like, they really, really don't like that. And so, because they feel like, well, I'm older than you, blah, 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 they're gonna not like you for that because they feel like it's like a jealousy thing. It's kind of like jealousy. I feel like someone's a little jealous of you. Let's say, I don't know. There's so many scenarios. I feel like that one didn't really resonate with anybody, but maybe it did. I don't know. Or if like you were to argue with, I keep getting age. Because I was going to say, if you were to like have someone in the family who's younger than you or something like that, it doesn't have to be a sibling, it could be anybody. And they just haven't experienced something that you have or have the knowledge of it, yet you do. And so they will argue their point until they're not try to hear yours at all and just see you as wrong. Now age, I don't know, it could also go opposite, where someone who's older may be like, oh, they're younger than me, they don't know anything. But it's like they might actually, age doesn't have to do with anything when it comes to experience. This person at this age has gone through way more than this person. Doesn't mean that they're smarter because they're older. So you see what I mean? Now some of you, let's say it's someone you have history with from the past, could be romantic even. No matter what, it's like this person will always blame you or something like that. Vice versa. Vice versa. Or not like you. It's like somebody wants to find fault in you. I just get finger pointing. Finger, finger, finger. That's why I'm going to title it The Finger. Now, I do want to see this another way. Everybody's getting this. Don't be disheartened. Trust me. Every single person is getting a message like this because that's the times we're in. It's not negative. It's just is what it is. We're like sifting through things right now to get to the real jewels inside, and this is just, I guess, part of it. Every one of us is going through this in different ways. If this is someone who's actually like an enemy, okay, because we do have them. If this is someone who's an enemy, I wrote down, and actively or even currently inactively, like an on again, off again type enemy. Sometimes they go in hard and sometimes they back off. And sometimes they go in hard and sometimes they back off. Whether they do it again directly or indirectly. This person constantly seeks to create discomfort in your life in some way. Whether they let you know that it's them doing it or they do it behind your back, you know? Like discreetly. You may be at the place where you've given it to the universe or whoever you believe in, given it to God, and you've kind of gotten where you're like, you know what? This person will be handled. I'm not even going to stress it. I'm not going to worry it. They'll be handled accordingly, just like I've been handled when I needed to be handled. My ancestors, my guides, God, my creator, the universe, whoever you believe in, it's like you've had a really deep spiritual journey and you've come out on the other side of it. We're always going through it. We're always growing and learning and unlearning and uncovering things about ourselves. But at the point you're at, you've come a long way. A long way. I mean, imagine where you came from. Look at you today. Imagine where you'll be in 5 years. If we have the 5 years, but if we do, imagine where you'll be, because you're constantly seeking, you're constantly searching and wanting to wake up or whatever. So you're aware, it's like your awareness is on a whole nother level than this person. You're aware that there are certain things you can let bother you and worry about, and certain things you just kind of gotta release it, give it to God, let go, let God type thing, or whatever, like whoever you believe in. So you've done that, and complete faith and trust that just as you have been handled in the things you needed to address and see where you were probably wrong, this person will be handled, and you're right. Right now, they're still in the energy of like bitter, like bitter. This is someone who's very bitter, or if they're not bitter, well, I'm going off the enemy one right now. If it's an enemy, they're bitter. It all stems from a place where they really don't like themselves. We all know that, but it's just easier to put it on you, and you happen to be the lucky gal or the lucky guy who gets the brunt of the finger. Here you go. But if it's not an enemy, let's go back a little bit, and it's someone just who can tend to be, I don't know, just they just gotta say something, or they just gotta throw it in there. They just gotta blah 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 blah. For one, it builds our character. It continues to build our character, even though it's a little frustrating, because it's like, why? But it does build our character. It helps to continue to build us. But this person will learn, and I think that you know that they'll learn, and also will continue to learn. Especially because I feel like if it's that scenario, not the enemy one, but the one where it's just somebody, I think you've tried to hear this person out. You know, it's not like we're so stuck in our ways we don't hear someone out. I think you've tried, but it's the fact that they don't try. Okay, and if this isn't anything you're going through and you're like, this doesn't resonate, I'm telling you, somebody on the outside of you, but somehow connected to you, is going through this, where maybe they're willing to listen and hear other people's side of things and beliefs and views and whatever, but others aren't always willing to listen to them, or a specific person isn't willing to listen to them, and so therefore there's this tension and this well, tension's the right word, I would say. Although, you know, it's like we still have a connection. I still care for you, depending on how they know each other, or if it's you and them, you still care for someone. But it's like I have to like separate myself, or I just have to stop talking about it, because I can argue all day, but what's the point? Like, what's the point, you know? Now, I could see this another way. Some of you, someone could eventually be upset with you because you stand your ground. And I'm not saying stand your ground. I'm not saying anyone will stand their ground here to be a problem to others, or to argue, or to anything like that. No. But like, let's say you have, as an example, you have family that get really upset with you because you start talking about truth that happened to you, not even bringing anyone's names into it, but you're just talking about you and specific individuals in your life, and like things that you personally experienced, and they may get very upset, or on down the line, they get upset, but it's because maybe in their own life they need to address some things, and they would feel a lot better if they also acknowledged that things happened to them that wasn't fair and wasn't right, but because they feel like they can't, or there's something going on there, it's just easier to be mad at you because you found your voice and you've been able to speak about things that's happened to you, because why would you not want to? This person's in fear, and they're mad at you for not being in fear, or not being in fear anymore. So if you found your voice, and I'm not saying again in the sense that you're trying to argue with people, or you're trying to create, because some people will do that, but they're actually just trying to cause shit for other people. But if you're not throwing out any names, and you're not specifically saying this person right here, everybody go attack them, then you're just sharing your story. What's wrong with that? Well, what's wrong with that is that someone else, my stomach is growling, someone else hasn't found the ability to be able to do that, though they have it, and they would probably feel a lot better if they did, but they don't, and so it's easy to be mad at you for being able to do that. It's freeing, and maybe they have some sort of ties to people where they're like, or they're scared of abandonment, or they themselves, I don't know, there's something there. So while they don't have why they won't stand up to people, or at least acknowledge out loud, say it out loud, what's happened to them in their own life, it's easy to attack you for being able to do it, or be upset with you for doing it. Maybe this person played a role in you, and some pretty awful experiences that you had growing up or in life, period, whether family or an ex or someone you had a family with. Whether they played a role in it or not, they still can't acknowledge the part they played in it. It's just you. Like, how dare you speak on it? How dare you? You think you're better, or you, how dare you try to make something of yourself? How dare you heal? How dare you recover? How dare you be a good parent? How dare you break generational curses? How dare you have your own mind? How dare you want to be alone and not be with the rest of us? How dare you? It's just like this, like tis, 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 and it's like, you can't do anything. You just continue creating in your own life, continue on your own journey, and that's really what you're doing. You've turned inward. or you've turned to God, you've turned inward, you've turned to the universe, you've turned in here. And this person or these people, vice versa. And that's not to say these are bad people, unless you've got an active enemy, right? And you might. But it's just to say, there's a saying I found a couple years ago. It was on like a little picture thing, and it was something like something about adversary, people becoming an adversary. People will, let me see, I'll find it. It was on like this little, it's always when I'm looking for it that I can't find it. I don't know. But anyway, I found this while I was searching for that one. You will never come up against a greater adversary than your own potential, my young friend. It says it's a quote by Michael Pillar. I like that. If somebody's not focusing on their potential to expand their mind. This is all about expansion right now too. To expand their mind, expand their beliefs, expand their experiences. They're just stuck in this loop, and you're not in the loop anymore. You've got off the Ferris wheel, the rabbit wheel, the whatever. You've gotten out of it. Doesn't mean we're not stuck in other ones, but you've gotten out of a specific one, and it's like, look at you go. And they see you doing this and thinking for yourself and following your own path, even if you had to be alone or be outcast from the group or the family or whatever, single and everything that you're conquering and accomplishing. And some of you, this was an ex-friend group or something, ganged up against, whatever. They're not focusing on their potential. And these are people that could have, I mean, whether they do or not, but they could have established relationships of their own, established careers, things like this and this and this, but yet feel so bent out of shape about you. And it's like, what? Why are you so focused on me? And why do you feel the need to prove me wrong, or to fight with me, or to argue with me? Fine, this is your belief, and this is mine. Or this is your life, this is mine. Why are you so worried about my life? Why do you have to try to, argue with me, fight against me, or try to hurt me to make yourself feel better? This is a person who, they operate off of chaos. And where they feel the most chaos is when they, I mean, honestly, I don't even really know how to describe that. Like, why is it so important for this person to conquer you or something, or to prove something to you, or prove something to the others about you? Like, why is it so important is what I want to know. It's almost like an obsession. Like, why does it matter so much? That's you, this is them. That's their belief, this is your belief. Like, why is that? I'm not really sure. It feels deep, feels like something real deep inside somebody. I'm not really sure what that is. I forget another saying, but it was something like, what is the easiest way to avoid arguments and conflict with people? You just don't argue back. A person trying to argue with you and start shit with you, or start shit behind your back about you so that everybody else sees it because they can't get a rise out of you. It's like, what is the best way to not have to engage in that? You just don't engage in it. Now, sometimes you have to address it. Sometimes it'll get to the place where you got to address it legally. And then sometimes you can't address it legally because they hide their identity and things like that. But eventually you'll be able to handle it accordingly. Eventually it'll come around to them. But most of the time you can just kind of just avoid it and be like, I'm not going to entertain it. You can argue with yourself, or you can be angry with yourself, or you can be angry with me. Then be angry with me, fine, whatever. It is what it is. I'm gonna go over here. It's like trying to distract you from what you've got going on. It's like this person's been sent to distract you, or make you question yourself, or make others question you, something like that. Now I'm gonna leave it there. I know this isn't for everybody, and again, it could be reversed. I have been both of these people. I've been the one that has this happen to me in all ways, And I've been the one like this. I used to be a fucking mess. Okay, I'm still a mess. But I used to be an entirely different mess when I was an alcoholic, like an entirely different mess. And I would intentionally look for fights with people. I would intentionally look when I could just prove someone wrong or fight with someone. And God forbid someone wanted to go out there and have a different life or whatever, wanted to like cut me out. Oh, honey. I'm not going to let you live that down. I'm going to fight with you because of it, or I'm going to fight about it, or I'm going to try. What is it? Oh, I posted it not long ago. I can't speak, guys. Something about, it was a quote. It's in my community tab. Something about when other people can't control you, they'll try to control the way people view you or something like that. Also relevant here. I did it. If we're being honest with ourselves, have you ever done it? I'm not saying you have or not, but a lot of us have done that at one point in time. So I'm not saying this is a bad person. Some of them are, though, especially if they're actively, like, some people will take it as far as to try to fucking kill you. You know what I mean? So I don't know who this is, but I'm getting different scenarios. In the vast majority, I don't feel like that, but some of us, you never know. You never know. We are on Earth, and there's beautiful things here, and there's real fucked up things here. So which one is it? You never know, right? Yeah. All I see here is a finger being pointed at you when it's like, isn't there a saying about that too? the saying we need to, and that's all of us really, though, could benefit from pointing inward and stuff like that. But I think you have done that. I think you continue to do that. And the second you feel yourself starting to resort back to old ways or whatever, because I do it too, I have to like put myself back in line and be like, nope, you know what I mean? Nope, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back. But this person will not. It's just constantly outwardly, outwardly, outwardly. You must have been a really big source of some type of energy for this person at one point in time. Even if it's a stranger, believe it or not. Even unbeknownst to you. But a lot of you, if you knew this person, and depending on how closely you knew them, you must have been at some point a very big inspiration, even, believe it or not, or a source of energy and motivation for this person. And then when you retracted and you pulled away and unidentified or detached in some way, it's like, what do I do? So if I can't join you, then I'll try to beat you. Instead of if you can't beat them, join them. This is more like if I can't join you, then, or continue to be in your aura or whatever, then I'm going to try to beat you. And then there will be different tactics that people use to try to beat you. And if they can't get to you, which I feel like they can't, because you're really like, look, the only demons I'm concerned with right now are my own, because to me, those are the fucking worst I've ever had to come up against, are my own demons and my own shadow. She's a beast in there, and I've got it every day, you know. So everything out here I can handle, even if it's awful. But in here, she's fucking something else, you know. And that they can't stand that, so then they'll try to go through other people and do things like that to try to, you know, add pressure. It adds pressure. There's like strength in numbers. Well, people who are coming from a negative side of things will also try to use that to their advantage. They'll try to get strength in numbers. You're like, oh, I can't affect you. Well, then I'll have everyone else gather with me and join with me who are also like-minded and miserable like I am. So maybe we can have an impact on you. It's something like that. I don't even know what to say. I'm going to leave it here. I went over, but I relate to this message on all sides of it. And that's why I can see it. And like I said, we're all going through this right now. We're expanding. And when you're in the middle of expanding, in whatever way you're expanding in your life, sometimes you'll see that you get pushback from that, because a lot of people, maybe it's an innocent thing, they don't even realize what expansion is or what that means, because maybe sometimes people view expansion as you're getting off your path, or you're falling away, or we're losing you, or something like that, instead of it's actual growth. I mean, it's growth. No, I mean, we can expand in the wrong direction sometimes, you know what I mean? But I don't think that you are. I don't think that you are. You're expanding more and thinking even more for yourself. You've been doing that for a long time now. And maybe there's this, that's exactly what it is. It's the freedom in your thinking, and the freedom in your believing, and the freedom in the way you live your life that makes other people kind of upset. makes them upset because they don't feel free in their own life. They're held captive by their own decisions. They're held captive by the fact that they can't forgive themselves. They're held captive by their addictions to people, to substances, to whatever, to pain. Their addiction to pain. People can get addicted to pain, you know. Been there. And so it can almost create this jealousy when you see someone else who can be so free. It's like, well, I want that, but I'm too scared to see if I can even have it because I don't believe I can have it, but they could. But instead of finding out for themselves, it's easier to try to like stop you or prove you wrong or go against you in some way, create this friction. All right, I'm going to go. Thank you guys for being here with me, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.